My name is James Ojo, and I'm recognized as Impact Connection Catalyst. And I'm about to be on Prosper uh, Taruvinga shows podcast, and its show is lifelong digital. And I believe that um, in order to serve people, in order to make to make an impact, and I believe that the key to a successful life is not what you have, but who you serve with what you have. So thank you, and I'm the founder of Destiny Connect Foundation, and I have background in finance, but corporate finance, and specifically, I help people to grow their money in property investment. So yeah, and thank you.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show. I'm your host, Prosper Taruvinga, and today we have a truly inspiring guest who is as passionate about human connections as I am about my morning coffee. Now, James, how are you doing, my man?
I'm doing fantastic, Prosper, and it's a great honor for me to be here.
Man, the pleasure is all mine. When we were talking behind the scenes, you're telling me all about your story, how you went to South Africa, and everything else that you're doing now to help people be, do, and have a happier existence. And I can't wait to jump into all of that. Now, for those that are watching right now, let me introduce you to Mr. James Ojo. He's recognized as the Impact Connection Catalyst, and he's here today being a visionary entrepreneur that he is, a philanthropist with a knack for building bridges and cultivating partnerships that actually drive shared success. He was just telling me about his story and how he's making a difference and changing lives, and I can't wait to hear all about that. And you might be wondering, why should we be listening to James? Well, he's got a background in corporate finance, and James now dedicates his time to empowering change and fostering meaningful relationships that actually make a lasting impact. So I want you to buckle up. Yeah, because we were talking about driving earlier on, James. So buckle up. Now we're going in cruise mode and we're going in the highway, because I think this episode promises to be insightful as it is engaging. Now, James, I've already welcomed you to the show. For us to kick things off, can you maybe share a little bit about yourself and your journey and how you actually became known as the Impact Connection Catalyst?
All right, thank you so much. Oh, what a wonderful way to introduce someone. I love that. That's very, very powerful. Wow. Okay. So my name is James Ojo, and originally from Nigeria. I think it's always good to share that where you're from and how we now find ourselves here. So my name is James Ojo, and I'm originally from Nigeria. I've been in South Africa for 11 years. But I will quickly take us back to when I was a kid. Um, I've always, loved people, and my love for people has really been since I was a kid. I was a child, and when you grow up in Africa, whereby we are very, very rooted in tradition and culture, so it's always another perspective, another way of upbringing, right? So yeah, and it has been a fantastic journey of my life, and I'm so glad that I will be able to use this medium to share a little bit about that with people, with our listener, and especially you, Prosper. And yeah, so I am happy to be here. So while I will go back to my childhood life, I used to help my parents eventually, to see how we can, hand to hand, joining hand to hand together to make sure that you put food on the table. As African culture, you want to wake up in the morning and do something with your life. So, and I found myself in a place whereby I started to help my parents, sell fish. Can you imagine that? So and I think that is one of where my sales journey started. So I used to help my parents, my mom, to sell fish back in the days, and I was doing it for two things. One, I was doing it because I want to help my mom. And the other thing, I was doing it because I want to go out every evening. When I come back from school, I want to go out and see my friends, and eventually get to play soccer with my friends, after that, after selling, because yeah, I think I was a village champion and was very favorite like kids back in the days, So yeah, that has been my journey. And I love people. I love connecting with people. I love making people smile. I love saying, adding values to people. I love it when my the households are always waiting to see James is coming to sell fish to us. James is coming to, to meet us, is coming, and they'll wait. I'm telling you, I'll go out in the morning in the afternoon, during the week in the afternoon, around 3, 4. I will take my train and I'll go hawk fish and all of that. I was doing it passionately. I was doing it with all joy and all sort of energy because I love it. I love doing it. So yeah, and that's how I started to meet people. That's how I started to add values to people and the excitement in people. And I became friends with a lot of people, and that is when the curiosity of wanting to explore the humanity, the power that lies within human, like the human connection. I want to know more about people. I want to learn more about culture, and then I know that I used to make friends with a lot of older people, and they'll say, "Oh, that is our son, that is our child," And everywhere I've been to, all over the village and township back then, I'm telling you that the other day I was telling my wife, and I was like, oh, one day I'll go back home. I'll go back to those villages and I'll take my little kid, up there and just, say, come on, this is the product. This is the product of these villages and townships. So, so yeah, my love for people has always been from childhood, and I keep exploring that. And I still remember back in the days, even when I was still selling fish and helping my parents and still studying, when I see an airplane flying by, I was like, oh man, I want to go to where that plane is going one day. Maybe I'll become a pilot, but unfortunately, I didn't become a pilot. So after my university, because I study mathematics, and after my university, I was like, okay, I want to travel out, to start, exploring the world, meeting people from different culture. So I came down to South Africa, and yeah, it was a powerful journey, and it was a very, very, very audacious step for me to actually step out of that zone. So yeah, that is a little bit of my childhood background and how I came to Africa in 2013, and it has been a joyride.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for sharing that journey. You put a smile on my face because I can see young James with, a big basket, full of fish, and all the older people are waiting because you were literally putting food on their table as well.
Right?
Even though it was in exchange for money on your part, but at least you knew from that very age that there's a need for community, and there's a need for people to help each other. I give you something, you give me something in return, and that exchange, so many kids these days don't have that experience. So congratulations of having done that right from the get-go. Now this put you in a very unique position because first of all, most kids are taught to be very afraid of strangers, but for you, all the older people were treating you as their son. How important are these experiences that you had early on, in now being able to shape you, because now you're so far away from home, yet you're the most comfortable you've ever been. Some people would be like, oh, I don't want to leave my house.
That's a very, very powerful question, Prosper. I would say that how has that journey and experience helped me and shaped me to be a man that I am today is through being empathetic with people, having that empathy, helped me to develop empathy and vulnerability. And again, helped me to develop that compassion for humanity, that compassion for people that we are all the same, you know, and I still remember back then when I would go out and sell, even I don't believe in competition. And that erase competition when it comes to human race. It will erase that, perspective that you have to compete with others. Because back then I was a child, I was a kid at the age of 13, 14, thereabout, you know, I will go sell and again, um, people are waiting for me because I'm there to meet their need, even though it's an immediate need, I'm there to meet them. But other than that, I'm still kind of like I the way I radiate with their energy, the way I put them first, the way I make sure that I always tell my mom back then that mom, I don't sell something that fish that is left over. I will tell my mom I'm not going to go and sell leftover. So, and by the grace, I make sure that when I take my basket or my tray, I make sure that I come back with empty, empty basket or empty tray, at the end of the day. So I always tell my mom, leftover, I don't. So I put people importance, that I want to add values to them. I don't want to sell anything that is rotten or anything that is not going to add values to them. And they know that James is always coming to sell fresh fish to us, whether it's roast or fried or um, still fresh fish. It's going to be fresh. It's not going to be a leftover fish or something like that or rotten or something. So, and that's it's something that people loves about me, and are there other people that are selling fish at that time? Yes. And this is where I said that it erased that competition in the human race, whereby I don't I don't even mind that I have competition, because I know my people. My people are waiting for me because they know their boy is coming to sell fish to them and it's gonna be fresh. So that is something that the compassion for humanity, the compassion for human, the having to move past the competition that we have to compete, the way of collaborating. I collaborate with people at that time as well. There are times there was a day whereby I actually finished early selling my fish. And my best friend, oh, one older woman, she was at that time, she was around 98. And I was sharing with my friend the other day that she died, this lady, she died at the age of 105. She was my best friend. And somehow, that day was a very, very, very good day for me. I actually I sold out before I got to her place. And I found another lady, selling. I was like, Ma, I'm very, very sorry. I forgot. And not like I forgot, but the way guys were rushing me on my way, I actually sold out. But you know what? This woman, I'm going to look at the fish that she's selling. I'm going to make sure that it's fresh. If it's fresh, I'm going to, you know, take fish from our own tray and give it to you. Then you can buy from her. And she was like, okay. So, and I did that. So you see, the collaboration has started from the beginning. It helps me not to compete with other people, but want to have, I have the mindset to want to work with other people, and the compassion again, the empathy that okay, I have to empathize with people. No, just because I am good does not mean the other person is bad. Just because I'm loved the most does not mean the other people are not loved. So I have to make sure that that empathetic nature of me is there. So yeah, man.
Absolutely. Now you and that's a really good story. I mean, obviously that not only would she have been your friend, she would have been a mentor for you as well. You know, you're learning from, because I can only imagine people that are that old, they'll be telling you a few things that you would later on sort of, utilize and, help you on your way. Now, you then went on and did corporate finance, and but you soon left that and you went into philanthropy. You know what I mean? What inspired that move? I mean, I know you love people and everything else, but for anyone who would have gotten an opportunity, especially where we come from, to be in corporate finance, to then leave that again and go back to philanthropy, that's a very what is it that drove that change?
Oh, yeah. I think when I came to South Africa, 2013, and I started to be my first business, like I said, in backstage, was manufacturing of cleaning detergent. You know, I love clean places because for me, clean places make happy people. Okay. And I love to see people coming together. So after the business that I started the manufacturing, then I want to then I used to supply to managers, facility management company, cleaning companies. Then I started to learn more about homes, about properties and all of that. Okay, I think if I can take care of people, make sure that they have clean spaces, then I can also look into the property side of it, the corporate finance side of it to see how can I help other people? How can I help people even more than just giving them the cleaning product, clean spaces? How can I even help people to become even more, flamboyant in their finances? Okay, then I started to look into that. And property is something that's okay, they intertwine with my business at that time. Then I learned more about body corporate, which is the property finance, and I started to see how can I help more people. I learned about that. I got into that space of one of the biggest association of in South Africa, which is Body Corporate and Homeowners Association of South Africa. Then I did my obviously my board exam and I became part of the Body Corporate, the associate and all of that association. And I was able to start helping people to grow their finances in public. I'm still doing it, I'm still doing it. But again, there's something inside of me that said, okay, you are helping people to clean places, make sure that they live in a clean environment, healthy environment, fresh air, and all of that. Then you go into helping people to invest in property portfolios, to help them to grow their finances, plan for a better future, a better retirement future, and all of that. Then do not forget about your passion, helping people to move from point A to point B, helping people to connect with who they are first, then connect with other people, because that is something that you have in you. So, and that is where the philanthropy comes. And since it comes in, and again, like it's been part of me. When I came to South Africa, even for my first business, I've been reaching out to charity organization, one of my favorite one is very very close to me, and it's an early childhood development charity organization, and I've been reaching out to them every year. But then I discovered that these people they are so hopeless and they are so helpless. They don't have the right support, and then I'm like, okay, so how about people that I have? I know that I'm surrounded with people that are like-minded like myself. They also love people. They also like taking care of people and reaching out to other people. So how about if I bring them together, and help these people that are lacking support, that are lacking support that they need to make a greater impact in the life of people. And children for me, I love kids, and these people they are dedicated to early childhood development. And that's something that really ignited the passion in me to say, okay, I want to use my influence, use my connections to help people that are vulnerable, to help people that are lacking support to make a greater impact in the world. So that is where my philanthropy now started. The journey now fully started, and it gave back to and vetted to the Destiny Connect Foundation, which is now the non-profit organization that I've started about a year ago, and this is globally because yeah, I was able to bring people from all over the world together to say, okay, you have the love of humanity within you, and you want to make a greater difference. And I believe that as a human, it is the dignity for us to want to make a difference. But who is always the question that always looms me. So, and I think that with my journey so far with humanity, I'm able to know to have answers to those how, who, where, how, and what to do to support people. So yeah.
Absolutely. And thank you so much for taking us on that journey, because so many people, once they have gotten something or some sort of career, they never really move or shift or yearn for more or want more, to be more, have more, and do more. But there you are, you still had that yearning and you put it all together. But in my understanding, bringing people together can be quite a challenge. I mean, you're doing it in a country that you were not born, where we were talking about how people speak different languages, and it's just a whole different scenario and a setup. What were some of the biggest sort of obstacles or fears that you faced initially, and who or what helped you sort of overcome them?
So I think the good news first. I will share the good news first before the bad. The good news is that I love people, and once you have that within yourself, nothing can ever shake you, you know. So nothing can ever make your resilience power to be diminished. Okay. So I will start with that. Um, when it comes to bringing people together, the greatest challenge is that first, racism is always a problem, right? But for me, because of my childhood experience, right? I even though I get hated by, even though I'm coming from a different background whereby there are different ethnic group, different culture, but the same country, right? But different cultures, different languages, ethnic group, and all of that. I'm sort of like used to, you know, to people who wants to be like, I don't want to work with other person because they don't sound like me or because they don't have the same perspective with me. So I've always looking for a way to say, you know what, irrespective of our differences, we might be different, but we are all the same. We might have, but we are all human beings. We have, if you get caught now and I get caught, we are going to bleed red. You know, my I think I will not be able to. I won't be able to overcome the challenges in bringing people together the day that you get caught and I get caught and you bleed white and I bleed red. Yeah. So that is when I will now say, okay, I start to have a second thought about bringing people together or about having people to find commonalities and being able to see each other as a human being. So I think the greatest challenges there is people wanting to be like, okay, I don't. It's not my problem to want to understand you as coming from a different background or different culture. It is my or duty to want to bring people that look like me, that sound like me. I don't care about how you. I think that's the only challenges there. But once we can um, bridge that and try to make people to understand that we are all one, irrespective of where you're coming from or where I'm coming from. I think we can look past that. And the best is, I think, when I started to understand more about bringing people together is when I joined BNI and Business Networking International, and I started to see the power that lies in human connection. BNI is a referral network and it's a word of mouth. People buy from people, people sell people, you know. So, and it can only happen if we are looking to work together, if we are looking to meet each other on the halfway, whereby we find ourselves, we look beyond who you are or what you do, whatever it is, But all what we are looking for is just to see that I can make a difference in your life and you can make a difference in my life. And together we can make a greater impact in the world.
Absolutely. And obviously, as you would understand, this give us gain. The more you give, the more you stand to then be able to receive. And from all the work and stuff that you're talking about, it looks like service to humanity is a cornerstone of all the work that you're doing. You know what I mean? You are, a servant leader. Everything about you is all about giving. I think it was Zig Ziglar that mentioned help enough people get what they want, then you too
Mm.
will get that which you want. What has been the most sort of rewarding outcome or achievement from your journey so far, and how has that sort of impacted your life and your business?
Okay. Whew. I think the greatest success for me is the fact that I have the right people in my circle. People that I can talk to when I want. I am surrounded by mentors, coaches from different backgrounds. You know, the success, the wisdom come easily. Because I'm able to any advice or any sort of challenges that I'm going through in life. But because I am blessed with people, I have people around me, I have the right people in my corner, I'm able to quickly find solution. And again, it helps me to solve more problems. So for me, I believe that the greatest success, a successful life is a life that serves not what you have, but what you do with what you have. And again, circling back to giver's gain, it is what you give, not what you have, but what you give. So and I was able to, so that is where my success lies. I'm able to have people that can give me wisdom, that can give me knowledge. I'm surrounded by angel investors from different part of the world, but those people are not really, yes, they play a huge role in my success, where I am right now, where I am to go. But for me, is that the successful part of my journey so far is being able to use all these human resources, these people that surround me to help to even use these resources to make a greater impact in the life of others. So that is my success. That is where I'm going to say how much money I want to say I have today. That is no success. My success right now, my successful life and the success in my journey so far is because I'm now surrounded with these people with all these human resources to help make a difference in the life of others.
Absolutely. And I quite like that. Do you remember you told me earlier on that, while you were going about with your basket of fish, you would look at an airplane and say, "Oh, I wish I want to go where that airplane goes," and things like that. You know, while you're talking about that, I just remembered something about an airplane where the air hostess says, in case of emergency, put your mask on first. All right. So, with what you're doing, I mean, obviously, you're giving and giving and giving. How are you then also rewarding yourself? Maybe we could say, how do you integrate the success and fulfillment to get your work done, because there's going to be so many happy moments, but you still need to get that work done, and also you still need to feed back to yourself in order for you to give, because you can't give on empty. If you are hungry, you literally can't give people your last bite of food. I mean, some people can, but obviously, normal human beings will want to feed themselves first before they can give. So how are you replenishing yourself from all this giving?
Okay. I think going back to giver's gain, when you give, when I give, I gain. But again, it's now back to receptive. Are you receptive to receive? Because there's a lot of givers that don't receive because they give because they want to feel like they want to satisfy something, but for me, it's a different story because I give, and when I give, it prompts other people to say, you know what, like the Zig Ziglar quote that I now live by that the more I give, the more I help people to help themselves, the more I get people to help me. So I have people that are partner with me in business. I have people that are investing in the product that I have to change life and all of that to help grow the investment. So I when I give, it returns back to me in multiple folds. So that is the mechanism that I use anyway, and that is how I operate. So, and I'm just saying to you, I have mentors that I could be paying thousands every month, but it's free. I have people that are giving me wisdom and word of wise and advice and counsel and all of that. I have my counsel and I have all of that, and for free, because I was able to look after other people first with the resource that I have. And so I would say that partnership, collaboration from people, mentorship and coaching from different people from different part of the world. And back to the aeroplane story, I always like, okay, I want to go, and every country that I go, and my dreams is to reach 40 countries before I turn 30. I'm 35 now. I still have about 5 years to go. So, and I'm like, okay, I want to reach 40 countries um before I turn 30. Though I'm still in Africa, I've explored quite a few number of countries in Africa, but I believe that before uh, 40, if I turn 40, I'll be in 40 countries in 5 continents. And but it doesn't stop there. I want to be able to leave a legacy because I realized that back in then, even though I was going from one village and township to another, I used to leave impact. And I believe that those people, they miss me so much. So I want to be able to go to these different countries and leave a legacy there. And today I can tell you that I have friends from over 50 countries. I have connection from over 50 countries, like real people, real human that are making different people that like myself, so, and yeah, so I cannot wait to explore the horizon.
Now I think I understand why you're called the Destiny Connector. And obviously, maybe can you elaborate, what this actually means and how it shapes your interactions with others?
Oh yeah, that's wonderful. Being a destiny connector, it's a vision, right? It's a vision that because I start questioning myself, God, I want to have that thing that's going to help me to feel that inner fulfillment, to feel that inner fulfillment within me. And I just keep hearing my destiny connector. And look, I'm surrounded by a lot of, I don't need 50 angel investors for my business or to partner with me, you know. So I need those people to help other people, So I believe I'm in between the impact, the vision impactors, which is the investors and resources, and the people that need it. So I need those resources. I'm being between them. And today I can tell you that I have connected a lot of people, thousands of people, from all over the world that they have done businesses, they have in one way or the other helped one another. And someone said to me that day, one day, that James, you've helped me so much, and I believe that you are destined for this. You are destined to help people connect to their destiny. You are destined to help connect people to the right people. So that is where the word destiny connector comes from. And someone say, hey, you are impact connection catalyst or whatever it is. They just keep saying this because I'm always looking forward to help other people. I'm always looking forward to see how I can help prosper to connect with dream clients, And I do that, I think it's a gift. And, when you are called to do something, it's always, align perfectly with effortlessly. And yeah, and that has been, I think that's the best way I can explain the Destiny Connector thing. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for taking us through that. I mean, to whom much is given, much is required. So, since you are going to be connecting a lot of destinies, what would be the best way that people can get a hold of you and then they can maybe start their own journey with you?
All right. Yeah. So, and if you want to, first of all, I'll say this: if you want to be, if you are looking to make an impact or leaving a legacy of positive impact, you will consider quality over quantity. You know, I'm a man of quantity rather than quality, quality rather than quantity. So but the best way that you can connect with me is through LinkedIn. I'm on LinkedIn, and James J Ojo is my name on LinkedIn. You know, yeah, I'm not on Facebook, not on Instagram, and all of that. Because I really want to be, you know, I really want to, to align my purpose, with my calling and make sure that I choose the platform that can help me to do that best. And LinkedIn is the best place to find me. Yeah, then my website is on dcfnetwork.org. I think if you get on there, you can read more about me, little about me, and you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Absolutely. I'll put all those links in the show notes so that people can actually start connecting with their destiny through you, my man. Now, James, this has been fantastic. I mean, we've gone over your childhood, past and, what you did in between and how you are now helping others along the journey. But, you know, I can't help but think you had even mentors right from the start, that older lady you were talking about and the people in the village that were calling you their son and things like that. Let's just say young James, knocked on your door today and he's selling you fish. What words of advice would you give that young man, knowing what you know
Mm,
about life and what went on to happen? Little
mm,
James comes
mm.
and he's got a
Woo.
basket of fish.
I will say always put people first and be solution oriented. Be the reason why people are happy, you know. Um, and I believe that if that young James should knock on my door and say, I want to sell fish to you, I will say, are you going to be here tomorrow again to sell to me?
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. 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 That is some powerful words right there. And for the younger viewers of ours right there, are you gonna be there tomorrow again to watch yet another exciting episode of the Online Prosperity Show? Now, James, I can't thank you enough for the time that you spent with me on the show today. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you to all our listeners. And yeah, Prosper, you are wonderful. And thank you for having me today. And I believe that you are a fresh air to anyone that will be coming across you. And I believe that people that are watching, that are listening right now, they will still be here and they will find this platform as as a change mechanism and to ignite their own purpose and their passion and to be able to help them to make a greater impact. Thank you.
I appreciate that. You did say a lot of givers don't know how to receive. I am gonna take those words and and they will be put on my statue. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much, brother. Thank you. I
I
appreciate you.
appreciate, I mean, you shared your incredible journey and insights with us today. And obviously, that takes a lot of effort and you showing us how you are now helping others be, do, and have a happier existence. Now, for our viewers, if you found this episode as inspiring as I did, don't forget to rewatch this. And I encourage you to share this with your friends since we've been talking about sharing and giving and all those nice and feel good words. Why don't you do the act of sharing? And if you can just write in the comments below, give us game. give us gain. And James and I will be seeing the right people who are actually now ready to become connected to their own destiny. And just remember, the key to successful life, as James has beautifully put it, is not what you have, but who you serve. Until next time, keep connecting, keep growing, and keep making a positive impact. Bye for now.